I'm Dr. Brawley Wong. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a board certified family physician and I love gender and reproductive health care. Today, let's learn about self injection as an option for hormonal affirmation. Both estrogen and testosterone can be injected once weekly, either subcutaneously or intramuscularly. I tend to prefer subcutaneous because it involves using a smaller needle. Just like with any medical procedure, the key to success is preparation. So be sure to reread or rewatch your instructions prior to starting. You'll also want to make sure that you have all of your supplies laid out. For self-injection, you'll need the following: alcohol swabs to clean your skin where you're injecting, and also to clean the medicine bottle prior to drawing up the medication. A 1 ml syringe. Depending on your dose, a 5 ml syringe can work in a pinch. An 18 gauge needle to draw up. You can use any size needle to draw up the medicine, but the lower the gauge, the wider the needle, and the faster it draws up. A 25 gauge and 5/8 inch needle to inject with. Injection needles can have a gauge ranging from 21 to 25 and a length ranging from 1/2 inch to a whole inch. A Band-Aid, and a sharps container. If you do not have a medical grade sharps box, a sturdy plastic laundry detergent makes a great substitute. Once you have all the supplies that you need, the next step is to calculate how many milliliters or mLs of medication you need for your dose. Now don't be shy, grab a pen and a piece of paper if it helps. Let's go ahead and run through some examples on how to calculate that. So let's say, for example, that you use testosterone cypionate, which is a concentration of 200 milligrams per ml, and your weekly dose is 50 milligrams. You can then cross multiply to figure out how many mLs you need. So that would be 200 milligrams per 1 ml is equal to 50 milligrams over X. So we cross multiply and we get 200X is equal to 50. So X is equal to 50 divided by 200, which is equal to 0.25 mLs. Another example would be if you're taking estradiol valerate at a concentration of 100 milligrams per 5 mLs, and your dose is 10 milligrams weekly. Once again, we would cross multiply. So it would be 100 milligrams over 5 mLs is equal to 10 milligrams, your dose, over X mLs. So we cross multiply and we get 100X is equal to 50. And then we do X is equal to 50 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.5 mLs. Once you've prepared, now we can go through each step of the self-injection process. First, be sure to wash your hands with soap and water. If you don't have access to running water, you can always use some hand sanitizer. Once your hands are clean, go ahead and grab your medication vial. In my case, a water bottle. You're going to want to confirm the name of your medication, the concentration, and that it's not expired. The concentration is important to know so that you drop the correct dose, like we calculated earlier. Once you've confirmed the name of the medication, and that it's not expired, you can go ahead and pop off this firm plastic top like that, and that's going to reveal a smooth rubber top. You're going to go ahead and grab one of your alcohol swabs, and you use that to clean off the rubber top of the medication vial. Now you're going to go ahead and grab your syringe. Usually the 1 ml syringe is perfect. And your 18 gauge needle. This big needle is just to draw up. Please do not inject yourself with it. Additionally, if you prefer, you can draw up with the same small needle that you inject with. This just sometimes makes it easier to get the medicine up. To attach your 18 gauge needle, you're going to notice the end of the syringe has a little cylinder on it in the middle, and there's a little hole in the needle. So you're going to take the hole of the needle, line it up with that cylinder, push down, and then you twist. Just like that. Pro tip, before you actually pierce into your medication bottle, practice drawing up the amount that you need. So one of our examples was 0.5, so I would drop this amount of air there to 5. By doing this part first, when you pierce into the bottle, you push that air in and it makes it easier to pull the medicine out. So you're going to carefully uncap your needle. And then I usually like to hold it with my 2 fingers here and my thumb on the plunger. And you're going to pick up your medication vial. I usually like to hold mine upside down. You can play around with what feels the most comfortable. And you're going to pierce the rubber that you just cleaned off with the tip of the needle, like that. You're going to push your air in, and making sure that your needle head is submerged in the liquid, you can go ahead and draw out your fluid. Okay, so once we have our medication all drawn up, we're going to go ahead and pull our needle out. And this is the point in time where you can actually use this pink cap, your safety cap, and you're just going to push that up all the way. This is what safely caps your needle. In my case, I'm planning on reusing this needle for demonstrations, so I'm going to put the original cap on, not the safety cap. Never cap a needle like this. This is how you poke yourself. You should always cap a needle one-handed. So set the cap on your desk, and then using one hand, guide the needle into the cap until the sharp part is covered. Then you can bring in your other hand and snap it closed. Similar to how we got it on, you're going to take this off just by rotating it and pulling up. Now we're going to pull out our 25 gauge needle. This is what we're going to inject with. It's much smaller than the 18 gauge. And it goes on our syringe just like before. See that little donut hole? So we put it on like that, and then you twist to lock it in. Now this can be a tricky part, is we're going to try to get this air bubble out. Right now my air bubble's at the bottom of my syringe. I want it to migrate to the top. So I'm going to flick it really hard. This does hurt your nail if you're doing it right. The other thing you can do, if you're a sissy like me and don't want your nail to hurt, is you can tap it on your table. And that will sometimes jostle it loose enough that your air bubble will get to the top of your syringe, which, voila, mine has successfully done. Once your bubble's at the top, you're going to push up, and I recommend keeping the cap on so you don't accidentally squirt yourself. You're going to push up until all the air is out of the syringe. Takes a little bit of practice. This part's tricky. And sometimes when we do this, we do have to go back and get more medicine. So I push it all the way to the top. And then you'll see a little bead of medicine come through. So you have your medication all drawn up, your air bubbles are out. Last thing to check once you're done with the air bubbles is make sure, is the medication at the correct dose? Because sometimes you might have drawn up too much extra. Sometimes you might have pushed out too much when you push the air out. So in our case, I did draw up too much. So we're going to scooch our plunger back up to 5. Like that. Good. Now your medication's ready to go. For subcutaneous, there's several different places you can inject. I'll go ahead and throw up a picture now. So on the arm, you want to get in the kind of fattier part between your shoulder and your elbow. And it should be in a fatty part where you can kind of pinch and get a little bit of fat in between your hands. A lot of people do this on the belly. There's a lot of fat there, or you can do it on the thigh. So you're going to take your syringe and you're going to hold it almost like a dart, like this. And at a 90-degree angle, so straight in, you're going to push it into the skin. Once it's in the skin, you can go ahead and kind of just push your plunger back. So just push it back, and you're looking in the cylinder of the syringe. You're looking to see, is there any blood going in? That would mean that you hit a blood vessel. Very difficult to do with the subcutaneous, but we always double check. And if you don't see any blood, you go ahead and push that plunger down. If you're feeling any pain when you're injecting, when you're pushing the plunger down, you should stop pushing in the medication, pull out, and get a new needle. What usually happens in those situations is if you're having severe pain, it's because your needle has hit a nerve. So you pull out, you get a fresh new needle. Anytime you inject yourself, you have to do a fresh needle. And you pick a slightly different location to miss that nerve. Okay, so last steps. You go ahead and get yourself a Band-Aid. Slap that on. And then you make sure all of your needles are off, like this. And you grab your sharps box. Or in my case, a sturdy plastic laundry detergent works just fine. And you can go ahead and put them in there to dispose safely of your sharps. Now give yourself a high five. You just affirmed your damn self. So, what questions do you still have about self-injection? Leave your questions and wisdom in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's content, please like and consider subscribing so that we can reach a wider audience with this education. Thank you so much. See you later. Zola.